just being the best you can be.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay,
I think I love
thanks.
that part. Maintain the magic. And now it's time for the in-laws. Yeah, we'll be having them coming in one after the other. Right here I have with me Ese, a sister-in-law to the bride. Hello, Ese.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, thank you. So tell me how you feel today.
I feel excited. I feel overjoyed. I'm grateful to God for this day. This day we've been planning and now we are here. I can't express how joyful I feel.
So as a sister-in-law, what has been the experience with the bride?
With the bride. Wow. My experience, she's very fun. She's very jovial. She's very caring, very kind, easy to speak to. She listens to you. She's very calm in everything, even throughout the wedding planning. Very calm. Yeah, have a very calm personality. Yeah.
So as an experienced person, you are married for a couple of years.
Yes.
Now. You would have one experience or the other already that you think, oh, perhaps I'm not supposed to have addressed this in this particular way. And then such, would you like to advise them in advance? You know?
Oh, okay. So my advice would be before you speak, think. Because sometimes when you are angry, words can just come out and then you regret it afterwards. So whatever you do, always think before you speak. That's my advice. Think before you speak.
Think before you speak. That's very crucial. So your wish for them?
Oh, my wish for them. My wish for you is that you have a joyful, a blissful, a fun, exciting marriage. Marriage have ups and downs, but remember that through your difficulties, work through it together. And like I always tell you, always remember that God is the first. Once you put God in your marriage, everything else is secondary. I wish you all the best. I wish you a life of fun, happiness, load of experience, and I pray that your marriage will be as joyful and as fruitful as mine has been for the past 5 years.
Thank
And I want to say congratulations.
You want
Yeah. Very
and like would you in the name brother let the it's time
Girl of the group. I mean, you know, very, yeah, general to people. So, of
a lot of about told me
yeah,
That's
we have trouble. A good time. Actually, is a lot of all jokes aside, he's he was a great brother, great kid growing up. We went to school together as well, so we kind of spent all that time together, both at home and at school, and nothing but positive things to say about him. He always brought life to whatever
So it's a
situations we
life
were
of
in.
party.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so let's get a bit serious. Let's talk about support. How much of support do you think a couple need to keep them going, especially from the family?
Oh yeah. I mean, obviously, I'm sure they will tell you they need all the support they can get. I think that's always the case. I think everybody does, regardless of your circumstances. I think for them in particular, they do need the support, I'd say, of their family, obviously, their friends, their whole community. I think they have that already. They seem to, at least, I think it's pretty much on display here today. And I think my advice to them would be to continue to rely on that going forward, right? They're going to need it. Hopefully everything goes smoothly, but even when things are going smoothly, it's always good to have people around you can turn to and who will celebrate with you and rejoice with you in the good times. So, my advice to them is to continue to take advantage of that as long as they have it. I wish them all the best. I wish them continued love and happiness and success in all their endeavors. Long life, blessings in their family, all the things they wish for themselves, basically prosperity, health, all of that love, and many more years of joy and blessings.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Thank you. And now the very main man of today, the man of the day. Of course, no other person but the groom. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
How do you feel being weathered today? Please tell us.
As my people say, it's an auspicious day.
Okay.
So what can I do? I'm just happy to be here. They say you go and you find a wife and you found a good thing.
That's it.
I found a good thing, and they said, do right by her. So I'm actually.
And you just did.
I'm excited.
So tell me, what was that attraction? What attracted the both of you together?
I don't want to show you some secret messages that were shown, but it was
But we
attraction
won't
at
mind.
first
Okay.
viewership. I saw her and I said, you know what, this is the one, this is the person, and thanks be to God. We're here.
Okay, so I've actually interviewed a couple of people, your friend, her friends, and all of that, and somebody actually mentioned that at some point they didn't believe you guys were going to get married. Kind of really surprised that, wow, are they really getting married? So tell me, aside the fact that you decided to take that decision, were there any point where you feel, maybe it's not just the right step to take?
Oh no, the point was never with her. It was with me and marriage to begin with. But
I see.
As you grow, you mature, and you start making realizations and coming to key moments, and the minute I crossed the threshold of okay, it's time to get married and be a responsible man, as they say. I knew what I had to do, and I knew who I was going to be with, and the rest, as they say, is history.
What are those special moments while you guys were still on the road before you got very, very serious? Those special moments you remember and you can't just forget?
Like 2 days ago, when I married her traditionally.
Just 2 days ago.
And then 2 days before that, when I married her in the court.
Okay.
And then before that, we've had a good time. It's been a good number of years now.
Her best food, her best color, her best.
Ask me a question that
No, now let's know.
I don't want to say one now, and then my guy at the top
We'll say
another one.
Are you sure?
Her best color is whatever color she says.
Okay.
Her best food, whatever food she
Look at this is this is not accepted. But okay, we're just gonna let it go. So, tell me, where do you see yourself in, let's say, in another 5-10 years?
Another 5-10 years, Hopefully not here right now because.
No, this is a reception.
Yes.
It's a wedding.
But happy with my wife and hopefully maybe 1 or 2 children, depending on how God wants to bless us.
How about 4 or 5?
Again, depending on how, if God wants to give me a 4 or 5, if He should give me like 4 or 500 million,
Oh, great.
go with it. And
All right.
4 or 5 more patience and
That's it.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. We appreciate you coming today, and we wish you a very beautiful marriage.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Thank again, and I have with me another friend of the group. His name is Desmond. Hello, Desmond.
Nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure. And how do you feel today having your friend, getting
I'm really
married?
I'm really happy for Augustine. I'm happy that he's found a partner, a life partner, and then I'm praying for him on this marital journey, and I'm sure that he's going to be fruitful and blessed and peaceful.
So for how long have you known Augustine?
I've been knowing him since 1999, so
Oh.
that that
That's a
should be about
long time.
25 years now.
Okay. So what has been the experience like?
Augustine has been a very fantastic friend. So Augustine is a reliable person, and he's someone that you can count on. I've always counted on him. And there's one thing that is very peculiar about Augustine. Augustine is a connector. What I mean that he's very friendly. He has so many friends across board. Like, he easily makes friends. So even some of the friends I have today who have come to be my very good friend are some people who I met through Augustine. So he's just a very jovial fellow.
Okay, so tell me, because you've been friends for so many years, about 24, 25 years, did you ever fight? How do you resolve?
I don't have any history
You
of
can't even
any,
think of one.
I don't have any history of any serious rancor. Augustine is like, yeah, of course there would have been each times maybe you would have probably argued. The thing about the thing about knowing someone from a very young age, you seem to have quite a good understanding of the person. So there isn't really that room for so much rancor. So we always find ways to resolve things. So if let's say I find Augustine right now he's pissed off with me about something, I'll probably push him like, why you angry? What's that? And he will just smile. So those are the kind of things.
He's lying. He's lying.
I said the good ones, guys. I don't want to.
Oh, so you see, that means you actually have a cockroach in your cupboard. You're actually covering. Did you just hear him say you're lying? Is that something you are supposed to tell us that you are not talking about?
There's nothing that I'm telling. Everything I'm telling you is what you need to know.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Desmond.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, it's still about Omaka and Augustine, and this is Souq podcast. Like I always say, taking it from the studio to your very destination anywhere in the world. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations, Augustine. So let me start with you.
Yes.
What was the attraction? Let's start from there. Oh my!
Fine boy.
He's not,
With beards.
he's not entirely wrong. I mean, I saw the picture and I swiped right. So
Oh my!
that was the first thing.
Oh my! And that has kept you guys together. So at what
good.
point? That's been good, right? At what point did you make up your mind to say, "Oh, I'm just going to go with him right away"?
I can't pinpoint the exact point.
I would dare you. Finish your-
But I remember we were taking a walk in Green Island, like I told him before, where we live, and he saw a man who was randomly by the side of the road, and this man was in tears. And most people would just walk by, like it's not their business. But he made the decision to stop, to ask the guy what's going on with him, what's wrong, and to try to comfort him when he realized this was during COVID 2020. And I was shocked because I was like, you don't know this person from anywhere, but you just have the kind of heart where you feel for that stranger. And in my head, I was like, how much more for me? And it's just at that point, one of the points that I would say that was like, yeah, your heart is beautiful, and I want this to happen to me the rest of my life.
Oh wow, that's super amazing. Okay, so he's blushing. All right, so I mean, she just mentioned something very special about you. What's that thing that is so special that you think that made you make up your mind you'll be good with him?
Yes.
I've already answered
Am I
this
putting you?
question.
No, you are. She's here now, so let's say it.
I said it was love at first sight.
Okay.
Not love all the way, but definitely strong attraction at first sight.
Okay.
And then getting to know her, some people have like one defining moment that is like, oh, and this is when I realized. But me, I'm very playful, so I was just playing and then I woke up one day and realized I was in love.
Wow.
Yes.
Just that.
Yes.
So how long?
But I can tell you her date. She's lying to you. It was like March 21st, 2021.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
When she looked me in the eye so quietly and said, I love you.
Oh my.
Yeah. And I said, I love you.
Two. Oh, that's great. So 2021 till date, you're talking about 3 years. Have there been challenges? Have there been hard times? Have there been times you guys was like, I don't think I can do this?
I mean, of course.
So how did you manage?
You just keep choosing. You just decide that, you know what, this is my choice and this choice I want to stand by. And it just sort of works in a way that works for us.
So before I ask you guys about your wishes, of course I know you're wishing yourself the best, but we just want to hear you say, now you're going to turn away and she's going to mention, tell me your color. I've asked this before.
What color?
Your best color.
Yes, please. Let me hear our answer to this. Actually, thank you very much. Thank you.
And you are going to tell us her
I
best
mean,
color.
general, I don't even know that he has the best color. Let's not even
great.
go. However, he wears like dark colors. He wears blues. He wears a lot of blue.
Okay.
And yeah, and he wears a lot of blacks as well. And it's very strange.
That's about 3 colors already.
I'm telling you, there's no specific color that is his favorite color.
Okay.
We've asked ourselves this
Don't
question.
know my answer.
Maybe after today you're going to make a decision. You're going to decide
maybe
one.
decide.
You've come too far to make a decision. I beg.
Okay, so to you, I just want you to turn away. So you don't do like this. What's her best food?
What's her best food?
Yes.
I say her best food is the food she cooks. That being
kidding
said,
me?
she
Could it
does
be
love
rice?
a good fisherman's soup and swallow and banga, something with obstacles.
Oh, really? Is
You
that
have to
true?
cross them, you have to hop to.
Is that true?
You have to hop to your nourishment.
Oh yeah. Is that true? Is that true?
Answer the question, right?
Yeah, I do love banga. Banga I really
Oh,
enjoy.
he got it. Okay, so your
But
wishes.
I also like plantain.
She also loves plantain.
Now plantain is not food, your plantain is accompaniment. Yeah?
Okay, so let's wrap it up by you sharing your beautiful wishes.
Right?
Should I? Yeah. Just share.
You can do for both of us, no? What is this? As a man.
Okay. So what is what our wishes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What can we wish for again? But long life and a fulfilling marriage filled with love, happiness, and the 20 children the MC said 2 days ago. We don't want that.
Okay. I said 4 though.
We want the 2 or 3 that she accepted.
Okay, she
said
accepted.
she said 2, I said 3.
Okay, that's fine. All right, thank you. Do you have something you want to say to beautiful women that are hoping and trusting that someday
sorry,
it will come?
I'm
So
just,
sorry for you. My own is
You will say your own. Your own are finished. Okay.
I mean, it's a choice, no? If you want it, you have it. If you don't want it, that's also fine. It's just,
Alright.
you choose.
All right. Thank you. It's so good having the both of you
Thank you.
at the podcast corner for Souq News Television, and we wish you all of the best. Beautiful marriage.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
guys.
And again, we'll have another special person at the side of Souq Podcast. It's still all about Omaka and Augustine, and she's no other person than Joy Femi Wash. It's pleased to have you. Okay, so because the bride is your niece, I'm sure you have a whole lot to talk about. So share with us about the bride.
Okay. As an auntie, they grow up in my heart.
Oh, great.
Practically, I train them in what they call education. They started learning how to speak from me. They started learning how to read from me. I was auntie that they will never forget.
Wow, that's so amazing. And tell me, those days while growing up, did you really see the future knowing that something beautiful is going to come out from such a child?
Yes, because she's a child to be with. When she was born, looking at her, she was very beautiful. And she was very promising. She's intelligent, very capable. Whatever she wants, she will find it. And She grew up in my hand as a baby. She became my chief bridesmaid.
Oh, that's very.
Chief bridesmaid.
Oh my.
And aside from that, the mother and the father, the one that gave me education, what they call, they sent me to university, trade university. What I am today can be
That's great.
and they love their aunt. And aside from that, I know from
Thank
my
you.
heart.
That's great. That's really good to hear, I must say. So, because you have a lot of experience now, you've been married for years. So, what advice do you have for this newlywed couple?
Okay. Patience, dedication, determination, investment. They should invest into their marriage. Investment in the sense that they should love each other. They should support each other. They should work to get the best for each other. It shouldn't be a standard. They should work in harmony, trusting each other, believing that whatever each one has is
So, for them. So, your wish for them?
I wish for them that will be blessed for marriage, married with fruitfulness, married that will have children. That's the wish. Because it's what they desire.
That's it. Thank you so much for your time, and we appreciate you coming around. Thank you for all the good works you've actually been doing, and also for raising Omaka. Thank you so much. And again, we have marvelous Orubo here with us to talk about the bride. Because he's a brother to the bride, actually. Hello, marvelous.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm good.
Tell me how excited you are.
I'm actually excited. I'm elated, actually. I'm happy, filled up with joy,
Okay.
and a lot of energy as well. I'm just storing it for when it's necessary to actually express myself. I am actually.
Okay, so tell us about Omaka.
Omaka. Omaka, like her name says, right? Omaka, like she's very pretty. She's pretty. She will catch your attention from anywhere, right? She's happy. She's filled up with energy. She has a very strong personality, so she stands out. Very expressive. She's not one that you can just shut down or put aside, and like she's the menu, like she's the entire menu, right?
So, but was there a time that you felt like, oh, Amaka, I really don't like this, and you feel very unhappy with her?
Yes, we've had moments, right, which is normal with family, right? We've had moments, lots of it growing up, especially since she's my older sister, right? I'm the one following her. Like after her, it's me. So we had moments, right? We went to the same primary school, Maryland Comprehensive,
Okay.
and then we both went to FOS.
Okay.
I joined FOS GSS2. She was already in senior secondary. So I was in FOS for 2 years, and she was as well in FOS. And maybe the FOS team as well actually was part of the process, because she was part of the cadets then.
I see.
Yeah, we would go out, and then during the period of, I forgot what they called them, but we had this match pass, and she would have to dress up in her military attire. And then back then, I'm not shy to say this, but she used to lap me, right? And so we're sort of close, but we had our moments too where we had them, like you said, we had differences, right? And those differences, which was normal, I'm a guy, right? And she's a lady. There will be times where she wants me to do things, and I have like my own stuff like that, basically. So we had our differences. There were times where I found it annoying, and like I said, she has a very strong personality, so she's not the type that you want to shove aside, like, right? So yeah, we had differences growing up in school, but I always appreciated her. Like I valued her a lot, especially that period where like she sort of paved the way for me, right? Coming into secondary school, like she had friends in senior secondary, and you're Omaka's brother, and I used to always mix up with her friends, and we always used to go home together. So yeah.
Alright. Now Omaka is married. How do you feel?
I'm happy at the same time. I'm actually very happy for her, right? Because it's something that I always used to pray about, right? That she finds someone that complements her basically, because she has a very strong personality. She's hardworking, she's diligent, she's smart, she reads a lot of books. So growing up, she always used to read a lot, like, and then she's also a lawyer, so like, so she speaks, like, she's expressive, right? And she's very fluent in speaking, right? So my prayer was always for her to find someone that complements her, right? A man that complements her, right? And seeing us, I just totally understood, okay, I see why he's the one, right? Because he does compliment her. Like, so even when she's tensed, because she does a lot, right? She's a chef, right? So her personality would always come out, but there's that, oh, you need someone that's there for you, right? For those times where she has it all. She has it all structured, right? But there will be times where she might tend to fall apart, right? It's only normal for a human, right? Yeah, so there's someone that would be there to comfort her and just pull her together, right? That supportive personality, right?
So your wish for them today?
My wish for them today is the love that they have found. I pray never ceases to or never disappears, right? I see the way they look at each other, that spark. And like I said, the personality is the key to it all, right? Finding someone that's your friend. I'm wishing them a happy married life, right? I'm wishing them success. I'm wishing them growth. I'm wishing them understanding, right? Love, passion, friendship. They should never lose out on, right? They should always remember how they started, the moments, the laughters, the downtimes, right? Because there will definitely be, right? And there will be more in the future, right? But the friendship is what will bond them together and keep them strong, waxing very strong. So I wish them a very happy and happy home. Lots of wishes that they wish for themselves. I also wish it for them as well, right? Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. The energy here today has been super amazing, right from guests, friends of the couples, and even the couples themselves. It's been so amazing. But you know what? We just have to say goodbye. And so as we're calling it a close on Souq podcast today, I want to remind you that you can reach out to us for all of your full video coverage. And of course, you want a podcast session like this at your event, we are fully available. You can just reach out to us via the number on your screen or through our social media platforms. Once again, I am Grace Komolafe, and until next time, we see you again.
Hello Nigeria, hello Africa. Yeah, this is Sound Man. Keep watching Souq News.
My name is Babalola from Excel LED. Keep watching Souq News.
My name is Shepherd Michael Adewale Onofuye. I enjoy you all to always watch Souq News TV.
Hi, I'm Tom Boggaballs, and please keep watching Souq News.
Wale Seriki, SLG Lagos Island East. Souq News, keep out watching them and keep a lookout for them. They're up and coming, and we're proudly to be affiliated with them.
You alone where they make me go crazy. This your love in the cool of my brain. You're my medicine, I need you all day. Yo, it's Blackface Nigeria, and you're watching Souq News TV. Keep it locked on this dial, don't change it. You know what I say? Blackface Nigeria, love no bad.
Jim Ovia, one of the most influential and successful businessmen in Nigeria, who has made a mark in the financial system. He is the founder and chairman of Zenith Bank, one of Africa's largest and most profitable banks. He has been described by Forbes Africa as the godfather of banking in Nigeria.
My name is Jim Ovia. I'm chairman of Zenith Bank, and I thank you all for listening to me.
This illustrious son of Africa was one of the financial leaders who revolutionized the banking sector in Nigeria. Let's take a close look into the life, background, career, and achievements of this enigma, Jim Ovia. Jim Ovia was born on November 4, 1951 in Agbo, Delta State, Nigeria, to a large family as the second son of Chief Obi Olihe of Agbobi in Delta State. Being one from a humble background, Jim attended local schools as he had lost his father at the tender age of 4. His widowed mother, together with his older brother, saw him through school. He had secondary education at Ika Grammar School in Agbo. Due to his interest in business and technology, he proceeded to the United States to study business administration at Southern University, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, USA, where he obtained a bachelor's degree in 1977. He furthered to University of Louisiana, Monroe, Louisiana, and bagged a master's degree in business administration in 1979. Jim Ovia is also an alumnus of the prestigious Harvard Business School. Jim Ovia worked briefly as a clerk in Union Bank in 1973 before proceeding for tertiary studies. Upon acquiring immense business knowledge from international institutions, he returned to Nigeria, his home country, and began a career in banking. He continued at this for years, working for banks such as Lion Bank, Merchant Bank of Africa, and International Merchant Bank. After many years in the banking industry, in 1990, Jim came together with some colleagues to found one of Africa's largest and most profitable bank, Zenith Bank. The bank was established with a vision to provide excellent customer service, innovative and technology-driven banking. Zenith Bank flourished as it drew customers who sought excellence in financial services. What started with an asset of $4 million and about 50 staff has grown into over $24 billion in assets and shareholders' funds of more than $3 billion as of June 2022. Zenith Bank is listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange and London Stock Exchange. Jim Ovia served as Zenith Bank's Chief Executive Officer and Managing Director from 1990 to 2010, and then Chairman from 2010 to 2014. After a brief break, he returned as Chairman of the bank in 2016 and remains so till date. Under his leadership, Zenith Bank has grown to become one of the leading banks in Nigeria and Africa, standing tall among some of Nigeria's first-generation banks of repute, a feat rare for second-generation banks established in a time of tension between military and civilian regimes and economic instability.
We will build our own roads to our branches if we're building branches in some cities, towns where the roads are not good enough. We have also bought power plants, generating sets to power electricity into our building. When we do all this, we also even had dug borehole to supply water to the building. When we do all this, what I personally call it is BYOI, bring your own infrastructure or build your own infrastructure.
Jim Ovia served as Zenith Bank's Chief Executive Officer and Managing Director from 1990 to 2010, and then Chairman from 2010 to 2014. After a brief break, he returned as Chairman of the bank in 2016 and remains so till date. Under his leadership, Zenith Bank has grown to become one of the leading banks in Nigeria and Africa, standing tall among some of Nigeria's first-generation banks of repute, a feat rare for second-generation banks established in a time of tension between military and civilian regimes. Zenith Bank has diversified its services to include insurance, pensions, stockbroking, and investment banking. The bank has won awards and recognition for its performance, governance, innovation, and social responsibility, inspired by its chairman's belief in giving back to community.
Really, it's my special pleasure, my honor indeed, for this opportunity offered by AAI to be awarded in the category of Business Leadership Award for 2017.
As an entrepreneur, Jim Ovia has made investments in sectors other than banking. They include oil and gas, telecommunication, real estate, power generation, media, and most recently, education. He is the founder and chancellor, James Hope University, Lekki, Lagos State, which has been approved by the National Universities Commission, NUC, to offer postgraduate degrees in business courses. Jim Ovia is a man who believes in giving back to society. He has engaged in philanthropic works through his foundations, Mankind United to Support Total Education, MUSTE, and Youth Empowerment, ICT Foundation. These foundations award scholarships to indigenous students and promote information and communication technology in Nigeria through various initiatives. Ovia has made donations towards courses and institutions. They include Nigerian Investment Promotion Commission, NIPC, Nigerian Internet Group, NIG, Lagos State University, and National Information Technology Advisory Council, just to mention a few. In recognition of his contributions, Jim Ovia is a recipient of many honors and awards. In 2012, the University of Benin awarded him an honorary doctorate degree. Former President Muhammadu Buhari in 2022 conferred him with the national honor of the Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic, CFR. Also in 2022, Jim Ovia was conferred with the National Productivity Order of Merit, NPOM award, by the federal government of Nigeria. Jim Ovia is a proud member of the World Economic Forum, the Nigerian Economic Summit Group, and the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. He is also a member of several boards and councils.
We can't afford to lose depositors' money. We can't afford to lose money that belongs to stakeholders. So you must structure your industry in such a way that the best are nothing but the best are there.
As chairman of Zenith Bank with more than 9% stake, Jim Ovia in 2015 was estimated by Forbes to have a net worth of $550 million. This net worth obviously has been surpassed since then. Jim Ovia Ovia, as a business person, founded 5 companies. They are Zenith Bank PLC, the Quantum Group, Visaphone Communications, Quantum Luxury Properties, Civic Center Towers, and Cyberspace Network. Jim is member, Honorary International Investors Council. Kay Ovia is CEO, Quantum Markets Limited, a firm that offers stock brokerage services. She sits on the board of several organizations and is chairman, board of directors of Cyberspace Limited, a leading software engineering company. Cyberspace Limited is one of the pioneers in provision of internet services in Nigeria, providing network and software services. Kay, being at the head of a tech giant in Nigeria, teamed up with her husband, Jim, to strategically deploy robust IT infrastructure at Zenith Bank, which resulted in the development of digital products and technology-driven banking in Nigeria. Kay is an alumnus of Enugu State University of Technology, Souq, where she holds an MBA in management. She is much given to philanthropy, with several initiatives to transform lives, particularly those of the underprivileged. One of her projects targeted at children and youths, Star Rising Talent Hunt, aims at discovering and projecting hidden talents. Jim is married to businesswoman and philanthropist Kay Ovia. She's also a hotelier, proudly running Starwood Hotels. Jim and Kay Ovia are blessed with 5 children: Isioma, Zephyr, Tito, Tommy, and Jesse. As a family man, Ovia enjoys spending time with his family. He also likes reading and traveling. In order to pass on his vast wealth of knowledge on business and finance to African entrepreneurs, Jim Ovia authored a book titled Africa, Rise and Shine. The book was published in 2018 by Forbes Books. The book was written after he featured in an issue of Forbes, and it became the magazine's best-selling edition in Africa, that it had to be reprinted 4 times. The book, Africa Rise and Shine, paints the picture of his humble beginning from the small town of Agbo in Delta State, and against all odds, pushed through to become a global business icon, while providing insight on how to conquer challenges in African markets, taking advantage of the opportunities. The man, Jim Ovia, is a firm believer of Africa being a continent abundant with natural and human resources. He has constantly pitched the continent as a land filled with investment opportunities in international business forums such as the Harvard Business School Annual Africa Business Conference, Bloomberg Global Business Forum, Commonwealth Business Forum, and the World Economic Forum, where he has been invited to participate and even deliver keynote address. Jim Ovia remains one of the pride of Africa and a great contributor to Nigeria's economy and the financial landscape in Africa.
I'm Gode Odidi, the CEO of Mindset Media and Achievers Gabro Limited. Mindset Media is all about celebrating people from nobody to somebody. We celebrate excellence, we celebrate innovation, we're also celebrating networking people from one part of the country to another. Oh yeah, the events about Global Mindset Media Achiever Excellence Awards, celebrating people with integrity. We celebrate our 13th anniversary at Lekki Noventa Hotel, Lagos, last Sunday. And I can tell you that this is the first time we are giving an award to non-Nigerians from Sierra Leone. They're based in US, and most of our awardees were from abroad, you know. This is the first time we did that, and this event was so fantastic that, you know what boss said, it's beyond me, because the crowd we were expecting 150 guests, but we had over 250 guests. The hall we wanted to use, it's not the hall we wanted to use, but God did it one way. We used the hall of 1.2 million naira, where at least the 1,000 capacity could reach everybody, and everybody were so happy. The mindset I was about being inspired by God. I started from Ajigule to Festac. Actually, we started from a church venue because we cannot afford a venue then. That was 2011. But consistency, determination, perseverance took us to where we are. We have been doing the program at Festac. In 2001, I just made a prophetic statement that I'm taking this program out of Festac to Lekki. One of the guests that came and one of the awardees told me, said, that November, he reminded me, December, said, what you said, you have to fulfill it. And last year we did it, but I can tell you this year was fantastic, because I've received calls all over the world. People are telling me that this program is beyond. Even people are now beginning to nominate. As I'm telling you now, we have already have people nominating for the next award. So the program is all about networking. I did something again that day. Everybody in that program, like what Mindset Median, everybody's equal, whether you are rich, you are poor. We had our guests, and I told them publicly that everybody should network. Everybody should collect each person's number to network. Tell them your business. Even my team, I advertise them what you are doing for a living so that people can contact you. So Mindset Media is about connecting people, their businesses, anything they are doing, but they must be credible, they must have integrity, they must have professionalism. Yes, the individual that received the award, you know, from different categories. We have people from the business world, the technology. We have people from politics. We have, and the way we nominate the people, we have a style we do in nominating our people on website. And we have our website. We advertise your name. If you are nominated, we throw it to the public. We started our nominations, that was June. Our nomination was open by June, so we started nominating people. The nomination came over 700 nominees, but we have to select them with my team to 31, because we discovered that we can't just give everybody an award. People were ready to pay, but we said we are not giving an award based on money. But because of the economic hardship, we have to say, okay, let them have a standard. We have gold table, we have a platinum table, where each of the awardees they sat down, and we did a lot of things to improve humanity in this award. Oh, this award this year, I'm very flabbergasted. Let me use that. I'm super excited because this year award was fantastic, because when I met our boss here, the first day I came here, we discussed. I was super excited because this year award was fantastic. People are calling me all over the world because I have not seen that. I discovered the award has grown beyond me. As what boss said, it has grown beyond me, because even my team, we couldn't even meet up the people, the guests, and I was surprised. And we did so many things what we have not done before, because in every year of our awards, every mistake we have done, we improve on it the next year. But this year we did something very fantastic. We brought things that world class awards, Headies awards. We brought classic things into the system. He now made it look so, so great that people were saying, is it God or this? Somebody was asking, do I do ritual? We're asking, what happened? Even people saw the picture. People are still calling me from Sweden. People calling me for UK, telling me that, are you the one doing this award? You did an excellent job. What we did is that we have to go through a lot of people who are experienced, like Mr. Victor Oluwafemi, a lot of people who believes in my dream. I listen to their advice. So when people they to see because you from my which is I have to resign me because I discovered that my vision was so great. I don't want to sit down somewhere waiting for political salary and other stuff, killing my vision that I've built for 13 years. I have to resign to enter the streets, which I am. So to build leaders, it will take years because first of all, let's look at how Nigeria was given. It was a foreigner that gave Nigeria this name, Florence Shaw. That means everything we are doing in Nigeria is foreign. We cannot live without foreign things. So you don't expect quality leadership at this moment because we are not really electing the right leaders in the right positions. If, for example, the last elections, Nigerians came out and vote. If our votes are counted, Nigeria can decide that this is the person we want. If you make any mistake, we'll tell you, go out of the leadership. But it's not like that. So it will take some years because the system has impoverished, have made many people poor. So when they see money, they can say anything. They can support anybody they like. But I'm praying that by God's grace in my generation and other generations coming, they should also look at how you as a youth must be self-employed. Self-employed means that you should, when you see something that is wrong, say it out. Even though somebody is paying you salary, tell the person this thing is wrong. So if we're able to have such leaders in place, Nigeria will have a better leadership, but it will take years. First of all, you must be educationally equipped. The level we have now, we're in the social media era. Social media can teach you good, bad, ugly, and so on. You can expose yourself to many training skills. The reason why our youth remain where we are not ready to learn. We know it all. We have a lot of youth. At this age, I've written over 14 books. And this time around, my books sold so much in this the program where people want to read. I was surprised that Nigerians are still reading, despite the hardship. So people want to read. People want to learn. People want new things. So I'm advising the youth now, try to be self-independent. Have integrity. Build yourself for tomorrow. Don't allow any political leader to take you unaware. So if we can build ourselves, I'm telling you, the future is bright for the youth.
Congratulations on the new channel, and I'm happy to be here. The Omniverse is imagined as a collaboration platform. So it's a platform that, as the name suggests, is bringing together ecosystems. So it's like an ecosystem of ecosystems, aggregating aggregators and community leaders who are able to bring together their communities together to a platform. So the summit in itself was, while it was a big event and a heavy lift for us and the team, and I have to thank our team of volunteers. We had a team of about 40 full-time core volunteers that delivered the Omniverse. So one of the key things about the Omniverse is that it's designed to go beyond an event and designed to be fully something that people can engage beyond the summit. So we will be launching our digital platform. We have about 70 community partners already, including a number of government institutions. So to answer the question, there's public-private partnership within the Omniverse. There's regulators, there's government departments and agencies, there's ministries. But more importantly, there's diverse sectors across the economy coming together with the understanding that tech is the biggest enabler for development across all sectors, and that if we can drive collaboration, we can scale. So that's the ethos of the Omniverse. Collaboration is the superpower that we're trying to bring to the fore. That operating in silos has not paid us, but if we come together, understand that technology affects every sector, then we think the Omniverse is here to stay. Nigerian companies, Nigerian associations, global associations, and when I say associations, it's from things like the Nigerian digital artists who have 3,000 members, right, in the NFT community, the Visual Artists of Nigeria, the Society of Nigerian Art, the AfriLabs, which is the biggest innovation hub network on the continent in 54 African countries, ISN Hubs, which is our core partner, which is the biggest innovation network in Nigeria, innovation support network, with something like 189 hubs in 30 states in Nigeria. And these are primarily private sector driven platforms, from aggregators who are major promoters of major platforms such as Lola Shone from Ake Book Festival, Choma Ode from Afrif. We have a lot of these people who are either on our advisory board, they are co-chairs, or they are community partners, because what we're building is beyond any one person. It's about collaboration both at the top level, but through the line down to the bottom. The role of my council is, first of all, to be the primary sort of mandate is to infuse Nigerian arts and culture into everything the Nigerian government does, at state level, at federal level, and to input it into schools, education, and everywhere. So in that sense, to make arts and culture functional and front line everywhere. This will involve the foreign minister, making sure it's embedded in our foreign policy, in our embassies, in the government policy, in every sector. So we're literally going to be reaching out to collaborate to all government at all levels, all other agencies, MDAs, ministries, federal government and state government institutions, to see how we can find common ground. Because obviously we don't necessarily have a lot of money, but I feel we represent the real crude oil of Nigeria, which is the IP that the Nigerian people create. That IP they create, even if you valued it at $100 per Nigerian, that'd be something like $20 billion. And I believe each Nigerian is worth more than $100. So my own estimation, it's limitless, right? So what we have to do is we have to rethink how we imagine ourselves, rethink our own possibilities, and therefore from there, take off by pushing that agenda. But it's not an agenda for me alone. It's actually an agenda for all of Nigeria. Because when we put it front and center, it means we're putting the Nigerians front and center. And we put the Nigerians front and center, I think we win. I think historically you will find that the federal government and the governments of Nigeria have not funded heavily these sectors. They funded the heavy industries, the military-industrial complex, heavy infrastructure. But the funny thing is, whilst Africans will say, oh, this is grammar, what are you people talking about in arts and culture? What you find is that the West, right, for 500 years has dominated the world. How have they dominated the world? Through narrative. Okay, but what do we complain about? Narrative. But we haven't invested in narrative. So if you don't invest in telling your own story and owning your own story, why are you complaining about how you're perceived? So I think it's counterintuitive and it's about time. And I'm very pleased and very happy that Nigeria now has a full ministry focused on this one specific issue. Because the truth of the matter is, we are older than time itself. We come before Christ. We come before the entire Western hegemony. We are actually the origins of everything, of innovation, of technology, of science, of education. But if we don't believe it ourselves and we don't express it, how can you expect anybody else to believe it? Well, I think the difference is that as a creative entrepreneur, there's really nothing to stop me, right? I can take all the risks. I don't have to worry about anything. I can decide, win or lose, we're doing this thing. But of course, as a public official, I have rules and regulations I have to go by. I have a boss, I report to people, and I have KPIs I have to deliver on. So there's a big difference in that regard. There's a difference in bureaucracy, maybe a difference in response time, but there certainly will not be a difference in my personality. So I think it's really about how you perceive what these things are. For me, it's an elevation, obviously, and it's a privilege and a pleasure to serve at this level, to do something that I believe in, to do something which is that I believe in Nigeria. I believe in Nigerians. I know our ability. I think we are world class. I don't like all this, it's good for Nigeria. I hate that. So I think for me, that is what's important. And to have the opportunity to try to deliver on some of the things we've been trying to do from the private sector for the last 25, 30 years. So there's nothing new for me in that regard. But of course, the position is new. Being in the government is new. But with a lot of support from friends, family, professional colleagues, and other people in the industry, plus my co-DGs and the minister, hopefully we'll do well. We're under the Ministry of Arts, Culture and Creative Economy, and that's very, very powerful because it means Nigeria itself has taken a decision to own the agenda. Hopefully I have a good time, have a good tenure, and I don't make any enemies. And well, for me, if you leave a place and the people that worked with you have good things to say, if they feel better about their work and about themselves, and if the brand that you're now leading is now appreciated by the people for what it does and how it brings it to the table, then I've done my job. I think Afrobeats has already established the fact that we are originally Nigerian. Or some people say arrogantly Nigerian. And it was intentional. We built this thing, and it was intentional because we're not going to ever apologize for being Nigerian. We're not going to apologize for being black. We're not going to apologize for being African. And that's front of mind. Because, you know, when you do show business, you have to validate it. So we validated the show maybe at least 10 years ago. So now we're in the business phase. So when you see the exit of Maven Records with UMG, you see Iwaju coming, Comic Republic with Universal Studios, you begin to understand where we're building to. And when you think about where we're coming from, where there was no infrastructure, no funding, no support, and I think part of what we hope to do with government at this time is, because we come from the sector, we can collaborate with everybody in the sector. We don't have to talk at them, we talk with them, we build with them. And together, I think it's limitless. You know, Nigerians like to say the sky is your limit. I think it's limitless. There's no limit to the whole situation. I mean, one of the things I talk about all the time is what's the difference between Thor and Shango? Thor is approaching $50 billion in revenue. Shango's broke somewhere outside Lagos. And that's a lack of imagination on our part. That's a lack of us delving into the richest thing we have, which is our mythology. Our mythology is endless. If you look at the Marvel universe and the DC Comics universe, the Orisha are basically the same thing as the X-Men. But the Orisha, some people are still afraid of them, whereas the X-Men are north of $100 billion in revenue. So I think we have to understand and reimagine our mythology, our history, our stories, and how to bring them to the world in new formats. It's not just film. It could be live action, it could be gaming. There's so many different ways to action these things. And when you do them, and you do them right at the right level, as Iwaju is beginning to show you, our stories have always been world class. Our characters are world class. What we have not had is the resolve and the confidence to finish. I think that is coming now. For me, I think it's still the fact there's more to do. My young brother, Misan Harriman, is nominated at the Oscars, the first Nigerian nominated for a director for a short film, because I know what that will do for the next generation of Nigerian directors, right? So for me, there's still more to do. There's so much more to do. When we see our first $100 million movie in the global box office, we need to celebrate it. When you win a Grammy, you need to celebrate it, because these are stages that we were locked out of. The technology and new media has allowed us to invade these spaces we were not even invited to. But now we're beginning to enter them and dominate. So even when you do that, you have to do it with grace and dignity, not with arrogance. And that's something that some of us have to learn. But the truth of the matter is, the greatness of the Nigerians is just beginning to come. And I feel strongly that this century, we're already in the African century, and the soft power that we hold here is what will define the future of the century. I think the most important thing, the first thing to think about is IP protection, because the minister is working strongly, intellectual property. The US, if you take the state of California California is probably in the top 5 economies in the world, and 70% of the economy of California is driven by intellectual property, by 2 core industries: Silicon Valley, which is coming out of Stanford University, and Hollywood, which of course is the music and film industry. Now, that is for anybody that says, oh, what is this thing that they're talking about? We don't understand it, it's grammar. The grammar is the money, okay? The narrative is the money, the story is the money. So any of your children or your nieces or nephews that have talent, visual art, performing art, arts and crafts, adire, all of these things that we've been taking as vocation, they are occupations. They are extremely valuable. And with digital technology and platforms, we can scale these things and generate incredible revenue. The point being that Nigeria has so much to bring to the world in terms of these things. I think Nigerian cuisine is going to be on the level of Chinese and Indian cuisine worldwide in the next 10 years. And if you understand that, then you understand that the Indian restaurants in the UK, as far back as 2009, were generating more money than the UK automobile, shipping, and metal, steel industries combined. That's just restaurants on the high streets. So that is why we must invest and we must put our energy into this sector, because this sector will provide the jobs, provide the revenues, and provide the global dollars that everybody's looking for. Oh, I think it hasn't even started. The Maven Records deal is giving you an indication of that. The reason why that valuation of $150 to $200 million has been done is because of the upside potential of Rema, who's 23, and Arya Star, who's 20. So they're looking at the fact that in 10 years' time, these guys could have generated $1 billion each. Do you understand? So it's a safe bet when you already have a built global talent at 23, when it normally takes years and years and a lot of money to build the talent, right? So what has happened is that we Nigerians have been able to build global talents, global following, with a percentage of the money it takes people in other places to do the same thing. So because of that, the value and the valuation is much bigger, right? So I would say the Afrobeats wave, it's not even a wave. It's been going for 15 years already. So when you encounter it is when you encounter it. If you think it's an overnight success in 2024, that means you were not around in 2008. 2006, I'd say it's a good time to think, when the sort of continental, because we took Africa first, working very closely and collaboratively with South Africans, Ghanaians, and Kenyans. Then we started going into Asia and the UK and America on the black, what I call the Nigerian chitlin circuits, moving through the Nigerian communities. And then by about 2010, begin to come into the mainstream with Oliver Twist and all these kind of records that break globally. And now you have gold records from Oliver Twist in 14 countries. And now, in a situation now where an artist like Ashake can come out of Lagos, speaking a language that is not known to most of these people, and generating, selling out arenas. To become an arena artist, let me tell you, there are only 4 or 5 arena artists from Africa, and they're all Nigerian. Don't take it for granted. I think a lot of people feel that, but what I should tell the rest of the country is that the rest of the continent is also trying to get to Lagos as well, right? It's not just the rest of Nigeria. From Accra, from Luanda, from everywhere on this continent, they're trying to get into Lagos, because if they can break in Lagos, they can break anywhere else in the world. But what I would say is this, from the perspective of my agency, our purview is national and global. We have 10 regional offices, we'll be visiting all of them. And our duty is to spotlight and showcase everybody. So we can't deal with just Lagos. And I think as we go forward, people begin to see the activations and plans coming. But the easiest way to do it, and the way we're going to do our best to do it, is to provide digital platforms to give everybody the opportunity to be seen. Because in this world, you know, we live in the attention economy. So to be seen and to be noticed is very hard if you're not in the place where all the noise is being made. But I know for a fact there's significant talent in all parts of Nigeria. I was watching last week, a gentleman called Ehi Benite was showing me all this content from Jos with these guys rapping, serious stuff they're rapping in Hausa, they were doing ciphers, and then he was like, what do we do about these guys? I said, just keep pushing them, because there's an audience for everything. There's an audience for everything. Don't be worried about that. There's an audience for every single thing, including the thing that you may be doing in your bedroom, but you think is not important. Somebody's interested in it. My label was a hip-hop label. I even refused to sign singers. There's almost every singer you could name was trying to get us to sign them. And I used to do it based on, can you rap? If you can't drop a freestyle, don't bother, right? It was that simple. And we helped all the other singers get signed to labels that we thought could help them and develop them in that direction. Hip-hop has changed, and obviously it's generational, right? So hip-hop has changed, and everybody approaches music from their own generation. Like, oh, I like this kind of hip-hop or that kind of hip-hop. What I feel is that Afrobeats became overwhelming, and it overwhelmed every other genre here. So the hip-hop guys had to fight for relevance, but the best ones always rise to the top. That's just the simple truth. So I don't worry about that. And I've heard enough guys. I even saw there was a whole Instagram series some guy was doing about a year ago, where he was just bringing out fresh rappers every day from Enugu, from Jos, from Kaduna, from Kano, from Benin. I love it. I think they're incredible MCs in Nigeria. A lot of times they need to focus on doing better songs, right? Not just being a freestyle rapper. If you want to get paid to rap, you've got to do better songs. You can't just do the freestyles. And that's something they've got to think about. You've got to balance the commercial side of it with the business side of it. And what has happened is, to a large extent, the commercial side has won because you've got to pay bills. But hip-hop, it never dies. I think, first of all, obviously from the perspective of I'm sitting in government, so I'm not in a position to tell government what to do or what not to do. But what I can say is this, is that the agency, my agency will be the home for the music industry, for performing arts, visual arts, fashion, gaming, recreation, festivals, culinary arts, film and television. We're kind of a convening agency for the ministry. So we have a lot of work to do, a lot of places to touch, but we're also going to collaborate with all the other MDAs in the ministry and heavily with the private sector and the developmental sector. Because to answer the question, I've worked in all these spaces for, it's not quite 40 years, but it's a long time. I've worked in all these spaces for a long time. In institutions, we have positive relationships to bring to the table to change the approach and to change the destination of where we hope to go. What I will say as well is that the reality of it is we're just beginning the journey. And there are no magic wands. I'm not going to wave a wand and everything's going to be fixed overnight, and neither is anybody else. But we will be bringing fresh energy, fresh ideas, a fresh engagement, and we're obviously open to collaboration. That's really important for me to say that, because people feel there are gatekeepers, but in my agency there are no gatekeepers, right? We're not interested in whether you have the biggest reputation or the smallest reputation. We're interested in the value you're bringing to the table, because the truth of the matter is Nigeria is massive. There's a lot of stuff going on in Nigeria. We're going to try to aggregate those things and bring them into one platform so that even as Nigerians we can know what we're doing. Because to be honest, if you don't know and you don't follow, there's no way you can know 90% of what is happening even in Lagos before you talk about the rest of the 36 states and the FCT. So for me, from my perspective, the journey continues. The objective remains the same. We want to see Nigeria win. But in order to do it this time, I don't think government should ever be disinterested in the nature of the industries in which it is operating. But we also don't need to be owning the space. We want to enable, partner, collaborate, and see how we can push people to do more. Because there are already people doing a lot, and maybe they haven't been recognized, they haven't been brought out, they haven't been celebrated. All these kind of things we can help to do, help to get news stories and people to bring these things to the fore, right? Like I said today, a Nigerian who was nominated for an Oscar as a director, the first Nigerian. It's up tonight at the Oscars. It's not news in Nigeria. That's a problem. We have to be able to tell the stories that are of greatness of our people, because if you don't do that, you can't inspire anybody.
of human achievements, goal setting, hard work, and dedication have been proven to be some of the elements towards success. The journey of remarkable individuals with lasting impact on the world are often filled with manifold stories, but through determination, they build their lives and make extraordinary contributions. Join me on the story of a trailblazer in business and philanthropy, Aiboje Ig Mokwede, a lawyer turned banker who has done well for himself, made an indelible mark within the banking sector, and has continued in his ambition of touching lives within Nigeria and across Africa. Aiboje Ig Mokwede. Within the Nigerian business space and philanthropy, few names resonate and are respected profoundly. Such is Aiboje Ig Mokwede. If you're just watching, kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel for more great documentaries. Like, share, and comment. Known as a successful business mogul, banker, investor, and a philanthropist who cares about making difference, Ig Mokwede's story is one of hard work, creativity, and a desire to drive positive change across Africa. Born to civil service parents on September 24, 1966 in Ibadan, Oyo State, Nigeria, he hails from Sabongida Ora, Edo State. Aiboje spent his formative years with his parents in Lagos, where he had his primary education at St. Saviour's School. He enrolled into Federal Government College, Kaduna, and at age 16, he was admitted to study law at the University of Benin, where he graduated at a young age of 19 with a law degree, displaying early signs of his exceptional intellect and drive. Called to the Nigerian bar in 1987, he started his career in 1988 as a lawyer at Continental Merchant Bank during his National Youth Service Corps NYSC year. In 1991, he joined Guarantee Trust Bank PLC GT Bank, where he rose to prominence as an executive director. His big moment came in 2002 when he led the acquisition of Access Bank, turning it from a small regional bank into a big player, a banking powerhouse in the industry. Throughout his career, Ig Mokwede has taken on different leadership roles, including Group Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Access Bank until December 2013. He later became President of the Nigerian Stock Exchange and retired in 2017, but remains on the National Council. Bowing out of Access Bank, he was given a befitting send-off.
No man or combination of men could transform what we met in Access Bank in 2002 into what would cause this type of people to come and celebrate today. It's not possible.
His foresight and managerial acumen have brought him chairmanship and directorial roles in prominent organizations such as African Finance Corporation, Associated Discount House Limited, Petrolon Energy, among others, thereby contributing greatly to their growth and sustainability.
Hard work, they say, pays. Igboje Mokwede's hard work earned him many awards and honors. He received the National Productivity Order of Merit Award in 2009, conferred with Commander of the Order of the Niger CON in 2011 by the then President of Federal Republic of Nigeria, Goodluck Jonathan, during his administration for contributing to banking and finance. As a visionary leader, he was installed into the E&Y World Entrepreneurs Hall of Fame in 2011 as the EY West Africa Entrepreneur of the Year and named African Banker of the Year in 2013. These amounting to how much others values his leadership and ideas. He got honored by Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers of Nigeria. Beside his work, Ige Mokwede also gives back to society. This philanthropist is involved in efforts to improve governance and healthcare across Africa through his Ige Mokwede Foundation, making a positive impact on people's lives. He initiated the Adopt a Healthcare Facility program in 2019, and he is the chairman of ABC Health and director of the Private Sector Health Alliance of Nigeria. He is the founder of chairman of Coronation Capital Limited since 2015 and has contributed to the growth of the Coronation ecosystem. Coronation Capital Limited, with other arms of its businesses, also bettered Coronation Art Gallery in Lagos on the 13th of May 2022, a platform for showcasing exceptional works of art that embodied the essence of cultural significance and artistic expression. Igboje Ige Mokwede founded Coronation Art Gallery with the vision of democratizing art, foster appreciation and understanding for the artistic world, and making it accessible to a wider audience.
Bumi Augusto is, I knew Bumi when she was born. I know her parents, and I know all her siblings. She's a beautiful, wonderful, gifted Nigerian artist, and just like many of the others here. The piece behind me is a triptych, long throats, all up to longer throats. I actually thought that I was going to caption this collection. This is really a microcosm of my entire collection, but I was going to capture it longer throats because this represents a lot of this collecting I did during COVID. Many of these pieces actually were not in Nigeria. I brought them home. I'll tell you something. I'm known for collecting masters, the Enwonwus and the Yusuf Grillos and so on. I still do, okay? And I kind of stuck to that genre of classic. Those are the people who, when I was growing up, as I told you, those are the people who were my parents, either just older than them or contemporaries. So I grew up knowing these artists as my uncles, okay? So my first collecting was, from works, done by masters like that. After a while, these works are really priced in. But Bumi Augusto, her works, which may appear even a bit pricey now, in 10 years' time, So this is also hosted by Coronation, which are companies that are all about wealth creation. So there's also the investment angle. I don't collect for investments, but with all that these great Nigerian and African artists, the young ones, have been doing, and the way their prices have been rising, I've got to focus on investments now.
He collaborated with the Nigerian Civil Service to digitalize work processes and public service delivery in October 2021. Recognizing 43 public servants at the 2022 Civil Service Award ceremony on behalf of the Ige Mokwede Foundation with an encouragement of cash prize worth 500,000 naira for each awardees.
It is my understanding that annually 43 public servants will be recognized in this fashion, and so with effect from the 2022 Civil Service Awards ceremony, on behalf of the Ige Mokwede Foundation, we will be putting an endowment with effect from this award session, whereby each awardee receives a cash prize of 500,000 naira. And in the interest of digital culture, the credits will go directly to your accounts.
Among his many certifications, affiliations, and fellowships, Aige Mokwede holds Triumph MBA from the London School of Economics, New York University, and HEC Paris. He attended an executive management program at Harvard Business School in the year 2000, and he is a member of the American Academy of Arts and Sciences, also appointed to the International Advisory Board of Oxford University's Blavatnik School of Government. Aige Mokwede is a honorary fellow of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria and had received an honorary doctorate of science from Olabisi Onabanjo University in 2018. Also honored by Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers of Nigeria last year in a groundbreaking ceremony.
If the operators of our markets, of a nation's capital markets, are properly resourced in terms of skill, capacity, and conduct, nothing can stop that nation and its citizens from leaving the tarmac and moving from third world to first world. Nothing can stop it. The correlation between the advancement of financial markets and the advancement of national economies is perfect. It's not almost, it is perfect. And so, you understand why I have tied myself to the future of this market and why I have tried from the very word go that my voice was heard to get the public sector and the elite within the private sector to understand that we cannot ignore this market.
Aigboje is the first African co-chairman of the Global Business Coalition on Health and chairman of the Friends of the Global Fund, Africa. The business mogul has made significant donations to the Global Fund. He is the vice chairman of the Global Citizen Nigeria and creator of the Nigerian Solidarity Support Fund. There is always a story, or say many stories, behind every success, and this Aige Mokwede has shared in a book called Leaving the Tarmac, Buying a Bank in Africa, Red Door 2020. In it, he talked about how he and others turned Access Bank into a major success, showing his determination and vision.
On a personal note, I think the first thing is that I left Access Bank. I retired as CEO in 2013, and I knew that I needed time off just to recharge my battery, so to speak. I didn't think I would have more than a year and a half before my perpetual motion character, kind of took over once again. And so I wanted to use that period as productively as possible. So I had a year and a half, and what better to do in a year and a half, than write a book. And for me, it was an opportunity, for posterity to tell the story to my children in a structured sense, because before then, I just hadn't had the opportunity to sit down with my kids and say, this is what I did today, or this is what I did yesterday, and these are the highs and the lows of this journey. Herbert and I went through a hell of an experience between 2002 and 2013, and for him that experience has continued. We learned so much, we were exposed to so many things. We had really, really great mountains that we climbed, we scaled some pretty high heights and so on. In a sense, it would be very selfish of us to, lock this up in a box and not share it with others, because I think our experience, can be used by any other person who has an ambition to go out there and do, whatever it is they seek, whatever it is they dream about. And so the notion of writing for posterity and recording this period in my life, and probably more important, the notion of preparing a way for others, you know. Those are the things that drove me to write the book.
Ige Imokwede, former managing director of Access Bank Group, returns to lead Access Holdings, replacing Abubakar Jimo. His return after a decade aims to realize the shared vision of the late co-founder, Herbert Wigwe. Access Holdings PLC, trading under the Access Corp ticker on the Nigerian exchange, began to feel Igboje's progressive impact as its stock value increased by 1.52% following his appointment as chairman. Igboje Ige Imokwede is back again. Ige Imokwede is married to Ofovwe Ige Imokwede and has 4 children, namely Ohiozoje, Aima, Morenike, and Renown. He has been able to balance his family life with his professional achievements, setting an example as a leader and role model to many. He is an ordained minister of the Promised Land Ministry. In the annals of Nigerian business history, his story stands out, showcasing the power of vision, perseverance, and giving back to the community. From his humble beginnings to global recognition, he inspires others to dream big and make a difference. His legacy remains as he continues to make strides in business and philanthropy.
Bring to you the remarkable life of a Nigerian businesswoman who has overcome significant challenges to become one of the most successful entrepreneurs in Africa. Let me tell you about the strength, resilience, and passion for success of a woman who journeyed into the male-dominated world of oil exploration and production. A woman who displayed her love for philanthropic endeavors and her commitment to empowering others, particularly women and young people. This woman is Folorunsho Alakija. It takes only the brave, courageous, and smart-minded people to become rich and influential personalities in the world. In Africa, when we mention the names of rich and powerful women, you must mention the name Folorunsho Alakija, the richest woman in Africa. Her net worth, according to Forbes, is $1 billion. Now, how did she start? Let's take you down memory lane on the life of Folorunsho Alakija. Folorunsho Alakija was born on Sunday, 15th July 1951 to Chief L.A. Ogbara, her father, and Mrs. Ogbara, her mother, who is a businesswoman. She was born into a polygamous family of 8 wives and 52 children. Her mother was the first wife and she was the 8th child of her mother. Young Folorunsho grew up at her family house located at Ido Oluwo Street, Ikorodu, Lagos. She had her nursery education at Our Lady of Apostles Nursery School from 1955 to 1958, also in Lagos. At the age of 7, Her parents enrolled her at a primary school in Wales called Dinoben School for Girls in Wales. She was in that boarding school for 4 years before she returned to Nigeria. After her primary education, she attended Muslim High School, Shagamu, Ogun State in 1963. Well, during the holidays, she would go to her mother's shop to participate in the textile business. She would learn about trading and marketing of textiles. Generally, she learned a lot of tricks about business. After graduation from high school, she enrolled at Pitman Central College, London, to study secretarial studies. In 1974, Folorunsho started her career working as an executive secretary at Sijuade Enterprises. After gaining some experience there, she moved on to First National Bank of Chicago, now First City Monuments Bank, working as the executive secretary to the managing director. Later, she was appointed the new head of the Corporate Affairs Department of the International Merchants Bank of Nigeria, formerly First National Bank of Chicago. She moved on in her career to become office assistant to the Treasury Department. After spending 12 years in the banking sector, Folorunsho traveled to London in 1984 to study fashion designing. She studied intensive courses in millinery and fashion design at the American College in London and the Central School of Fashion. When she returned to Nigeria, she established her fashion label called Supreme Stitches. Within 3 weeks of setting up her business, she was invited to take part in a fashion competition. Folorunsho won the competition that brought her straight into the limelight of the fashion industry in Nigeria. Prominent women from different parts of the country started making clothes with her. Her fashion company thrived successfully, and a few years later, she renamed it to the Rose of Sharon House of Fashion, making it a proper fashion line. As her success in fashion grew, she was later made national president of the Fashion Designers Association of Nigeria, FADON, and a lifelong trustee of the association. By the early 1990s, Folorunsho decided it was time to expand her business tentacles to oil and gas. Her company, FAMFA Limited, was incorporated in September 1991. The company applied for an oil prospecting license, OPL, to explore a 617,000-acre block for oil, now OPL 216. In August 1993, the company was awarded the leasehold rights of OPL 216 oil block, and it was renamed officially. FAMFA Oil was changed to FAMFA Oil Limited. Its goal was to be the forefront of indigenous oil and gas exploration and production in Nigeria. Folorunsho got on board the exploration of a major deep water oil field located 1,500 meters off the Niger Delta, the Agbami field. She gained access by partnering with Star Deepwater Petroleum, a subsidiary of Texaco, through a joint venture agreement. FAMFA Oil Limited then appointed Star Deepwater Petroleum as its official technical advisor for the OPL 216 exploration license. The company received 40% of FAMFA's 100% stake, while the remaining 60% was retained by FAMFA and the Alakija family. It was discovered in 1998 by Shell. Star Deepwater Limited, an affiliate to Chevron, functions as the operator of the field. Through her company, FAMFA, Folorunsho and other companies are oil benefactors of the Agbami field. The Agbami field was first discovered in 1998 but only became active in 2008. Its operations will last throughout 2024. After a majority of its vast reserves would have been extracted, she had to fight back against the government in court for laying claims to a 50% stake in her company. It was initially a 40% stake, but the government later returned for an additional 10%, claiming that the company generated a revenue of $10 million from the oil block. Folorunsho felt it was unfair because her company had worked hard, invested everything in the business, When the fruits of their labor started to manifest, that's when the government took everything away. The Alakija family fought the government in court until they won on May 22, 2012. The first drilling of the Agbami well was done on 15th July 1998. The exploratory well was about 4,700 feet underwater, which was the deepest depth in Nigeria at that time. From the license application to the point of the company's first strike, there was an interval of 17 years. Today, Famfa Oil Limited is a leading oil and gas exploration company. Folorunsho Alakija has other businesses in property, real estate, and in printing. She owns Dayspring Property Development, a real estate company with investments in different parts of the world. She also owns Digital Reality Print Limited, a printing company and corporate services provider. And in the area of philanthropy, Folorunsho's success story would not be complete without mentioning how she wants to give back to society. She wants to help those in need. Hence, she started the Rose of Sharon Foundation, which was created in 2008. It is a registered faith-based NGO that has empowered widows and their families and orphans to be successful through education programs and scholarships up to the university level within the country, Nigeria. Through Famfa Oil Limited, Folorunsho also hands out yearly scholarships to 9,000 medical and engineering students across the nation. The foundation has also donated a total of 21 chest clinics for the treatment of tuberculosis in 21 states across Nigeria, including the Niger Delta region and Lagos State. They have successfully donated 4 e-libraries and 2 school libraries to schools within the nation. In addition, she has a foundation created to empower women called Flourish Foundation. It encourages women in their different careers and provides grants for female entrepreneurs who want to start a business. Folorunsho is also a writer and has written a few books. For instance, one of the books titled The Cry of Widows and Orphans and The University of Marriage, and also the Folorunsho Alakija Speaks, to mention a few. Now, Folorunsho's personal life would not be complete in this article without mentioning her husband, Mr. Modupe Alakija. Folorunsho and Modupe got married in November 1976. Their marriage is blessed with 4 sons and their grandchildren, and they reside in Lagos, Nigeria. Folorunsho holds so many awards and recognitions for her contribution to society. She holds 6 honorary degrees and a fellowship at the Yaba College of Technology. In July 2013, she was appointed as the Vice Chairman of Nigerian National Heritage Council and Endowment for Arts. She became the first female chancellor in Osun State University and Nigeria's first female chancellor on the 9th of March 2016. She is also one of the Lagos Business School's alumnus and a member of the Commonwealth and Investment Council Advisory Board. She is also an advisory board member for Center of African Studies, Harvard. On July 17, 2021, Benson Idahosa University, Benin City, bestowed on her an honorary doctorate degree in business administration. In conclusion, Folorunsho Alakija's story is a tale of hard work, determination, persistence, and courage. She was able to build up her marriage, raise an upstanding family, and build her empire.